When I'm doing a reset on quads, there's three major points I like to hit. This first one's going to be more of the inside quad. It'll kind of feel like you're hitting your adductor muscle tissue, but it's primarily just underneath your VMO or that little teardrop quad that you have on your leg. It's right underneath there, right above the knee, but on the inside. And you're going to kind of push in and up and scrub that whole space. We're working about a 4 to 5 inch length of space from the top of the inside of that knee joint up closer, working our way up towards the groin. Any nodules or knots that you find, give it a little extra time, especially if anything radiates down towards the knee or up towards the hip. Massage that for longer. Part 2 of the quad reset is going to be more of the lateralis. Not just general IT band, which is the common mistake here, but actually the connective tissue just under the belly of the quad. So again, we're on the outside of the leg, just above the knee. You'll feel where your tibia, where your bone stops and that muscle kind of starts to begin. That's your starting point. And for most people, it's that outside seam of their pants. It's usually, or their shorts. It's usually that whole little space there. But it should feel like you are underneath the quad pushing up, not necessarily below the quad pushing down, because that's more of your hamstring. And again, we're hunting for any knots, any nodules, anything that feels like it's really hot, almost like needle prick hot. Any of those spots, give that some extra time and massage it out. And again, if it radiates towards the knee or towards the hip, you need to give it more time because that's a tension point causing joint discomfort or tension in a joint that doesn't need to be there. And moving into the third spot, that's literally splitting your thigh in half. If you were to flex your quad, you'd see some separation in between the muscles, and that's kind of the muscular valley, so to speak, that you're going to work your way up through. It's not super common that there's a lot of tension or pain in this area. However, it can be a common tight spot if the front of our hips constantly feels very tight or very stiff. So again, flex your quad, find where those muscles kind of separate, and then work your way from the top of the kneecap up about halfway through that whole little crevice. To finish the quad reset, we now work our way up to the hip. So we want to massage pretty much where all the fascia is for all of those quadricep muscles and even our glute med. So there in the back is more of the glute med. And then we walk our way forward in front of the femur and the front edge of the hip bone. We get to where your quad, sartorius, VMO, rec fem, all of those things kind of insert or originate on the pelvis. And this is typically a very, very tender spot for most athletes and most people. So definitely get into that whole area and work it pretty hard to get relief.